We're going to take a look today at the new drawing kit, which has got a few more tools in there which are going to help with all the drawing techniques that you want to do. So let's have a look inside. And we've got in here a double-ended embossing tool with 2 different size balls on the end, 2 different shaped rubber blenders, shapers, pushing your colour around. We've got a new eraser shield here for erasing particularly precise shapes, and the French curve for helping draw smooth curves. Okay, the first thing we're going to look at is the embossing tool, and to show you a really simple demonstration of how this is used, I'm going to draw a really simple leaf. So I'll just draw the outline first in pencil, just so we know where the outline is going to be. And take the embossing tool, and this is going to allow us to put in the veins on the leaf without having to draw around and leave a little white space with the coloured pencil. So I'm just going to indent the paper and start putting in some veins. Really simple. And just wait until we start colouring over the top. There's 2 different sizes here. I'm actually going to go over the centre with the larger one, so that remains a bit more chunky. And the little fine veins here. Now I'm simply going to start shading over the top. I always find it's nicer to use the side of the pencil here, so you don't get any pencil stroke marks, but more or less an even spread of colour, until we want to go into the detailed areas, of course. You can see how that's starting to emerge. Okay, let's add some lighter green there. Whoops. Around the edges, I'm going to start using the tip of the pencil again, so I've got more control there. Keep everything neat and tidy. But this is ideal for drawing things like whiskers on animals, or hairs on a portrait, or grasses, anything like that where there's quite a lot of fine detail, particularly in the colour of the paper, the white, or whatever paper you're using. It just means you don't have to draw right the way around every single little white space. You can just go over the top. You can see that's building up now. I've got a lovely leaf. And what we can do even to make some different tones and shades, you can actually indent over some colours that we've already got. So maybe, for instance, I can go over, let's just make this a little bit brighter. Let's say I wanted to keep certain bits there, like a brighter green. You know, I could just go over those. The brighter green, there we go, little scribbly bits. Then take the darker green, go over the top of that. You should see some of the paler green remaining where we've indented over that. So you can keep going, you can keep layering up with your actual pencil. There we go, so that's the embossing tool. We're going to move on to the 2 rubber shapers. They're smooth rubber, but quite stiff, so you've got a bit of sort of pressure that you can apply with these, and it really helps to smudge the pigment around on the paper. So I'll tell you what we'll do, we'll just draw a simple little flower shape here. I'm using some pastel pencils here just because it's something that we would want to smudge a bit with our fingers perhaps. Let's just have that there. colour in slightly that, quite roughly for now, because it doesn't really matter. Just so you get an idea of how these can be used. I'm going to add a little bit more colours in here so you can see how we can use this to blend the colours together. And then maybe a paler one as well. That's a bit pale pink there. Right. So I'll just take the rubber blender here. And you can see how working into it, it's really making a lovely smooth finish to the paper, and it's starting to blend the colours together rather nicely. Two different points here. It depends on what, you know, how you're working on the paper. This one's a lot finer and slightly softer than the straight edge one, so you can use it to really get into the small finer areas right up to the point there. And then perhaps when you need a little bit more pressure, I'm going to swap to the straight edge one. And really get in there and get that nice blended feel. If you suddenly think, well, actually that's too much blending for me, I want to add a bit more, you can always go back over the top, add a little bit more in if you like. Just give you a nice base there of lovely blended colours. And then get that blended in. So you really pull the colour around without having to... Oh, there we go, just pulling some blending down there, pulling the pigment down the petal. So we've got a nicely blended flower. Right, whilst we've got the flower there, tell you what we can use actually. We'll use this French curve to draw in the stalk, or the stem. I'm just going to take a green pencil. What I'm going to do is basically use the curves on the French curve to help me draw a stalk how I'd like it to be, nice and smooth. So you don't have to draw right the way around the whole thing. You can pick part of the curve and use that how you like. Well, I'm going to have it coming up there. Just going to draw along it and put another little edge in. There I've got a beautiful smooth curve. I'm going to colour that in. Other parts of the curve, I mean, we could use this, perhaps put a little bit of leaf in here. Look, there's that shape there. I might actually use that to give us a little leaf. I'm going to colour inside the shape, around the bottom there. It's all about looking at the shapes that are there and just seeing how you can use them. I mean, there we go, that's just come up trumps as a little leaf on the stem. But the other shapes in here, look, we've got a bit of a wave going on down here. We can use that if we want. If we're wanting shapes like this, we've got a great tool here for getting smooth lines where you need them, really. And the thing is to remember, you don't need to use the whole curve all the time. You can stop partially along it and you'll just find ways of using the curve successfully. And what you can also do, instead of drawing lines around it, we can use it to shade up to something. So if I want to keep something like a curve here, I can shade right up to it. Then perhaps I might think, oh, well, I'll tell you what, I'll do another shape over the top of that, bit of abstract work here. I might come round, fill in this shape here. It really is up to you. Just have a little play about with this. It's great great fun. Okay, final little tool is our eraser shield. And this is really, really handy for putting in detailed and accurate eraser marks, particularly for highlights and things like that. So I'm just going to start off by drawing a quick eye here. I think that might be an animal eye, I think. I'll have that. Just roughly, just so you get the idea. Okay, and let's say we have a pupil there, which I'm going to shade in quite dark. And I might leave part of that white, so I'm going to mark that off. And just quickly colour in everywhere else, or shade in everywhere else. Layering up there, and add a little bit of shading on the top of the eye. There. Coming together a little bit, looking pretty much like an eye. Maybe there would be some hairs. Okay, then perhaps I might come along and think, actually, I think I need to brighten that up with another highlight, but I've already coloured in over that. So what I can do is take the eraser shield and pick one of the shapes here, which is going to be useful for me. And I'm thinking along the lines of probably one of the little curved rectangles there. So I'm going to take that, actually we'll have that one there. I'm just going to lay it over the drawing, exactly where I want the highlight to appear. It's really thin and flexible, this, so you can get quite close into the surface of the paper, and then all I'm going to do is start erasing in that particular shape. There we go. Right, I pull that away, and it's given us a beautiful crisp highlight there on the eye. It's just looking at things and thinking, oh, I could add a little highlight there. If I've just made a mistake there, I want to just delete that and not go into the eye itself. See how I've gone over the line there? I could go and put a shape over that wouldn't allow me to erase into the actual pupil itself, and then erase solely the part I want to erase. It's all about keeping your eraser under control, really. But a great little tool. So that's the introduction to the new drawing kit. A great set of tools to really bring out some extra techniques in your work.